Okay, so this is a return discussion where I had a guy do an immersion, and we discussed in a previous video almost a year ago about pulling straight away on the first date and or like off the approach. And my argument is that if you pull early, it's not just because you're trying to get laid, it's because you are trying to lock her in to try and keep her as something more, like a girlfriend, etc. And by pulling fast, pulling the girl, you can try to build an emotional connection faster. That's just almost the only way that you can do it. And he disagreed with me on this. But what's happened now is he's gone out and had quite a lot of experience, and he's witnessed what it's like to go out on... Well, anyway, what do you think? What have you learned since last time then? Anyway.
What I've learned is that you, Dave, are pretty much 100% right. And I guess I didn't... Now that I've had a little less than a year of experience on my own, I found that the girls that I pulled faster and almost right away, or like first date, first meet, whatever you want to call it, were better girls, number one, and two, they always seem to return, so like I was able to lock them in.
Better girls as in more innocent? Or just
yeah,
better girls?
like probably lower body count girls.
That's counterintuitive. Most guys at home probably think that if she sleeps with you on the first date, she's like got a large body count and a bit of a whore.
Yeah.
But in fact, it's the opposite. What happens is the girls that sleep around a lot and end up having lots of one-night stands, they're less likely to want to do it in the future and want to get more out of the dating process and make you wait. And the girls that will sleep with you earlier are a little bit less experienced. They're less likely to understand. They're like, oh, first date? Oh, okay. Because it's like new to them. And the girls that are like, oh, we're going back to your place so soon, it's first date, they're the ones that have done it many times, otherwise they wouldn't have that experience. That's kind of why, too, you're kind of filtering out some bad girls,
it's
too.
It's a great filtering technique. I remember even you told me through some coaching calls, like you go on this date with a girl and you spend like a little bit of money on her, and then date 2 or 3 she just pieces out because I didn't pull her home. I would have screamed that out because she would have like, oh, I'm going home, and then I would have known, okay, this girl's wasting her time, on to the next one.
Yeah, so how many times have you got to the second date or the third date and the girl unceremoniously, like rudely, almost like as if you don't exist, just ghosted you after like having dates and weeks of texts?
I think I had 3 in a row.
3.
And then...
But how many dates did you get up to on those 3?
1 or 2 dates. Like we went on a... Like,
so one as in you've met her and then she's come out on the first date and then ghosted?
Excluding the pickup. So sometimes you pick them up in like a grocery store or something, and then a couple of days later you set up a date or something.
Yeah.
It'd be that date, I would just do it like the classic style. Just go out. Don't pull her to my place at all. None of that stuff. Just try to be a quote-unquote gentleman.
Yeah.
And then maybe even try to do a second date and see if I get them to come to my place. Maybe, even though I probably was uncomfortable with it at that time, they would eventually text me and say, look, I'm not interested now.
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, so not only the approaching, going out and approaching the girls, getting the number, texting, the time and effort involved, then getting her out on the first date,
Yeah.
spending the money, organizing it, starting to feel like, oh, I like this one, and then you're building a bit of an attachment to her, and then the second date she disappears,
Yeah,
and
well,
then it's like all of that. No, it's not only the effort; it's also the emotional trauma of it, and that you build this emotional baggage too, and
Yep.
and then after getting burnt a few times, I guess you're starting to realize that if you were to just try to pull on the first date, it'll save you not just the time and the money, which is it's negligible. It's not a large amount. It's more like the emotional baggage that builds up after getting. Oh, I think we're going somewhere with this one. I like this one, and then burns you, and you get burnt, and then it's like, what if I did try to pull on the first date, maybe? And then it's like you're living in two different. What would it be? How can I describe it? It would. It's not. It's almost like game theory in a way, almost.
like what if I didn't do this? What if I didn't do that?
If you didn't try to go for the second or third date and you tried to pull, then you start having that in your mind when she ghosts you on the second or
which
third
did
date.
go into my mind.
Yeah,
It did
and you're
go
like,
in
I
my-
should have just tried on the first time, and then it would have saved me all of the texting and all of the, and I burnt my weekend or whatever day you
Yeah.
met up with her, burnt all that time, and then she just disappears, and it's like a
And
big
I'm
slap in
even
the
thinking
face.
there's a chance that by me not pulling right away, she might think like she's not attractive or I'm gay. That I feel like that could be the risk. Like, why isn't he trying to?
Yeah, and some
sleep
other
with-
guy straight
Yeah.
after you, belligerent, doesn't care, doesn't give a shit about her, tries to pull her on the first date, and he sleeps with her, and she
Yeah.
falls in love with him
Exactly.
when you've put in all this effort, and it's like, then you start thinking maybe I should have done that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but most guys probably watching this wouldn't have that much experience. They're probably doing the classic 3-date plan. You know, the first date's going to be just a quick little coffee or a drink in a bar, you know, and then she goes home, and then the second date's probably a proper dinner, you know, we get to know each other, and then the third date I buy her flowers, we get a limousine back to a better restaurant this time, and then I try to take her home, you know. But those guys, they don't often end up with high quality girls. Some of them do, like, don't get me wrong, like,
Yeah.
you know, the divorce rate isn't that high, but when you get a bit more experience or a bit more, as much volume as you are now getting, it kind of makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah. Definitely.
because that's one thing that we struggled with, because I couldn't convince you
Yeah,
of it.
I
Now
know.
it takes the experience to understand what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Once it happens a bunch of times, then you're like, okay, Dave was right, and then you try Dave's way, and it works.
You get burnt
Yeah.
too many times. The amount of times guys have tried this, they're like, okay, well, this is my future wife. So pulling on the first date, I can't try to pull my future wife on the first date because this is love, Dave. I can't do that. And he gets 3-4 dates in, and then she disappears, and he's heartbroken. He's carrying that for like a year because that was his future wife, right?
Yeah.
But if he had have tried to pull her on the first date, the emotional baggage, the trauma, the date trauma from losing his future wife wouldn't have been so great. Because I think guys get attached too. That's another factor.
Yeah.
And it depends on how much money guys have. Some guys can't afford to be throwing $100 away every weekend, and the time to maybe work suffered during the dating process. There's a lot of factors here. It's like, just pull her on the first date. Save all the troubles.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely got attached to some of them because they were way hotter girls than I kind of went for in the past. So, yeah.
When they were hotter, were you more likely to go, oh, well, better get the limo, and second date we'll go and get oysters
it's
and
weird,
truffles?
Like, the hotter they were, I'm like, oh, I should tread carefully. I should be a little more cautious. Like, I don't want to.
Is that what you were doing?
That's what I was thinking in my head. I'm like, oh, they're
Yeah.
really hot. Let's be cautious about it. Let's not pull straight away. But it's the opposite. I should have just not listened to myself and just listened
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah. In fact, the opposite. The more you're like, this is wife material. This is the hottest girl I've ever seen. We've got so much in common. I want to date this one.
Yeah.
The more belligerent you should be. It's actually the opposite.
It is. It's very counterintuitive.
It's like just off hello, pull to the bedroom, as belligerent as possible,
Yeah.
and it saves you because I think there's a lot of like trauma that guys have.
And with pulling, it's not necessarily you have to have full-on sex with her, but pulling her to a place sends the message that
Yeah.
this guy wants, like,
Yeah.
he's interested in you. And then also the screening tactic, like, is she compliant to come with me?
Yeah, compliance.
Yeah. And is she too suspect because she's been in this situation like dozens of times before? That's the other screen.
Yeah, you can tell body count by, oh, where are we going? Where are we going
Yeah.
after this? Where are you taking me? It's like, why are you so suspicious? Because many guys have done that before to her. Yeah. And that's part of the reason why. It's not just monetary, and it's not just about having sex too. So I would say majority of people and women too will think it's just about sex, but really it's just to try and lock the girl in, because you can't lock a girl in with truffles and a helicopter ride and 20 dates in, because then she'll just learn to exploit you.
Yeah.
She might have less respect for you because of that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. She would. She'd probably think you're less of a man.
Something or
For
other.
taking too
Or
long.
this is the guy that's going to pay for everything, and then love is the guy that will try to sleep with me immediately,
Yeah.
and then you end up screwing yourself over, and then ended up with time and effort and everything involved.
You know?
That's unfortunately how life is. You know? So, the amount of times guys have told me that they've got multiple dates in, and then she just unceremoniously just blocked, ghosted, didn't respond, or sent like the paragraph explanation
classic.
why you're not going to see each other again
Yeah.
or something. And then you think all of the time and effort that went into it, women don't understand this and they don't care about it. So it's like, pull first date. Just pull first date. Save all of that trauma. That's
Yeah.
that's part of the reason why I don't have all this baggage that a lot of guys have.
Definitely.
Yeah. And that's where it came from too, setting that sort of strategy up.
No, that's a good point, because you go out there, day game or night game, all the rejection you go through, and then when you do get a hook and
Yeah.
want to actually go out with you, and
It's like, oh my god, this is wife material. I
Yeah.
like this one. And you try pull. If you try to pull fast and she rejects you, it doesn't matter as much as on the third date. It matters on the third date. It matters a lot more. It's like you're building it up to something.
Yeah.
And that baggage you can be carrying that baggage a long time. I've heard of so many guys that stick to this third date rule, and they're carrying something there, like emotional trauma, and then after a while they start getting angry. Fucking bitches keep rejecting me. It's like, well, you can solve all of it, not get angry, not be bitter,
yeah, it'll definitely
by
keep you-
pulling off the hello
it'll
or
keep you in the
pulling.
game longer.
Yeah.
You probably would, you'd give up if you keep getting this all the
Yeah,
time.
there's guys in Sydney that I know that are still gaming, but they're either some are like have some sort of a mental thing, you know, where they just can't build emotional connection. You know, like guys that have like severe autism or something like that. or psychopathy or something.
Yeah.
But if you're a normal guy, you're going to be negatively affected, and this is like a way of protecting yourself too. That's another thing. It'll be protecting you emotionally so that you can keep going out there, approaching and meeting and dating new girls, and then eventually find the one, you know, because ultimately they're the ones making the decisions. This is what a lot of people don't get about pickup, is that ultimately the girl's deciding whether she hangs around.
Yeah.
We just need to avoid losing too much money, time, and getting emotionally burnt too much
Yeah, definitely.
in the
100%.
process, and have so much volume that it, you know, it doesn't get to us.
Yeah.
That's changed hands. Yeah.
So it only took, what, 6-7 months for me to change my mind.
Okay.
I'd probably change it sooner. It's just we haven't really.
Well, come a little bit closer. I hope they can hear it, because the pool's loud, really loud.
Yeah. Yeah, probably change my mind sooner. But this is, I think, the first time we're talking face to face in like
Yeah.
quite a few months, or probably like 6-7 months, I think.
And that was it. Just having them ghost.
Or getting the text like, "Oh, it was nice going out with you, but
And
I'm just not in the mood anymore." Or like just some random text that's like bullshit, really.
Yeah. Okay. And then immediately you just thought, oh, I should have just tried the pool faster.
Yeah, upon when you self-reflect, it's like if I did first date pool, I probably would have been
Yeah.
in on those ones.
Yeah. Are you still thinking about those now? You're like, oh, there's a few of them where you got a few dates in and you're still kind of thinking about it?
There's definitely one,
It's
because
in the back of the mind.
one of them was like a legit 10 in my mind,
Okay.
like the ideal girl that I wanted. So that one, but there's a few others I'm like, I've had some success afterwards that it kind of made me forget about it.
Okay.
Because when you get a bunch of wins in a row in this, like, you feel a lot better as a man.
Yeah. Like tonight.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Like tonight. Tonight was what, a 10 to 12 minute pull. Like, come.
Yeah. Most of these nerds that watch YouTube videos are not going to believe it though. They're like, oh, you're paying for hookers.
Nope.
10-minute pull and yeah.
The funny thing is,
I won't say the other thing that happened.
me and you, the girl I pulled, the girl I pulled, you just happened to be standing beside me when I talked to her, when I first got the initial number.
Yeah.
So, but if you guys are listening, when I went on the first date, F close in under 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
12 minutes.
12 minutes. You counted.
Because she met me right near our hotel, so it's like 2-minute walk.
Yeah. And she said that she hadn't slept with anyone in a
Yeah,
while.
she hadn't been with anyone for quite a long time.
Quite a long time, yeah. Yeah. And that's another factor as well.
Well,
Yeah.
I kind of picked up on it on her vibe too. That comes with experience. You start to see these things.
Yeah. So this is part of the reason why I think it's a good idea to try to pull on the first date. Another factor is, let's just say you said there was a 10, right? Or, you know, your version of a 10,
Yeah.
like wife material.
Right.
So if you're whining and dining and taking them out on yachts and giving them helicopter rides during the dates, you're actually just propping up the egos of 10s too. That's another factor. If she gets treated that way, but if every guy is like, okay, this is a 10, I'm pulling her first day,
Oh,
she's getting a 7-Eleven coffee max, and she's getting pulled to the pool, then she's not really exploiting men as much. there's still going to be simps out there that are going to do that regardless, because men are pathetic.
Oh, yeah, I
There's
see
men
what
all
you're
over.
saying.
But if there's enough men that get it, they get the game, and we play it properly, then we can lesser the influence of a 10 over our negative influence
Yeah,
of a 10 over our society.
Because right now we have the
Massive.
opposite domino effect. You have guys trying to simp too hard,
Spend too much money.
and then they're expecting
Yep.
the next guy, and then
Yep.
we end up
Yeah.
creating this negative domino effect on men in society.
When it should be 7-Eleven coffee,
Yeah.
dollar shitty drink from Woolworths, maybe some chips.
Yeah.
Chips, maybe
If
some
they're on
dip.
sale. If they're on
If-
sale.
Yeah, cheese if it's on sale too. Like, and it's got the little label on it saying it's going to go off tomorrow. Then you
Yeah.
get that, and then you pull back to the pool and pull back to your room. If she's not down, fine, next. We'll go find.
Exactly.
I don't care how hot she is, and then it's better for society, I think. So, but yeah, I believe that though. I don't think we should be. And then like, as soon as you start dating them, like you've maybe locked her in, you feel a lot more safe. You might have pulled her the first date. Then you can take her out to dinner. Then you can like be a bit more caring. Then you feel a little bit more safe. But don't expose yourself so early too.
Yeah, exactly.
It is a lot of this is about protecting yourself emotionally. I don't think men, because we're the cannon fodder, we're the ones that are supposed to take all the shit of society, we're the slaves of society, and we're not allowed to have emotions, then men forget that we do and don't allow themselves to take this seriously. And it's almost like out of all of the things, this is one of the things we're not allowed to actually have, like, it's like we're not allowed to have standards in dating either.
Yeah.
Like we're just nothing, you know? That's the society's way of treating us, really. And yeah, that's probably another reason why men throw a lot of money around on dates and a lot of time. And you know, you see those girls on Instagram and they got these massive bouquets of flowers and stuff. Who's buying that shit? Some man is dying inside by doing that on the first or second or third date, just trying to get her, just so that she can post it on Instagram to all of the other dudes that's following her.
And
Yeah.
I know a guy like me is not gonna get those Instagram girls through Instagram. Like I have to do it
Yeah.
through dating.
You gotta do it through cold approach, yeah.
Cold approach.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was the main takeaway then.
Yeah.
Just the almost game theory aspect of it. It's like if you pull and then she goes through with it, it's kind of game theory. It's almost like the prisoner's dilemma. The dominant strategy is always to try and pull on the first date.
Yeah.
She rejects you the first date when you try to pull, then you don't have the extra trauma of first date, second date, third date, fourth date getting rejected. But if you do pull and you do sleep with her, then you win, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you win both ways technically by trying to pull on the first date.
You even win when you try
Yeah.
to pull, because even if you can't successfully pull on the first, she will give you information, good or bad.
Yeah, that's the other factor. If she has communication skills, which, let's be realistic, a lot of women don't.
Yeah.
And she says, I like you, but it's a little bit too soon.
Yeah.
Boom, then that's as good as getting laid on the first date.
Pretty
Her
much.
communicating that she wants to see you again, and then you're safe in what's happening here.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's going to come back. She's not going to ghost you and disappear.
Yeah.
If she has those communication skills, which is rare these days, actually. My hair's sticking up. So they're the takeaways. What's the third takeaway then? Is there a third takeaway?
Third takeaway is experience it for yourself and find out the truth.
Yeah. Yeah,
really
well,
hard
that's it,
through
yeah.
video to tell guys, and then
Yeah.
even I was the same as maybe as these kind of
Mm.
skeptics, right? And then when
Yeah.
you open up your mind and get some experience,
Yeah.
the truth.
And this is
reveals itself.
Sydney. This is not Bangkok for those guys in the comments. Fuck you. some guys like think I'm living in Asia.
Nope.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, it really does matter when it comes to. You really don't know until you get the experience, and that's another aspect too. Is that a lot of guys that are probably watching these videos, they don't think that any of this is real too. So that's
on them.
that's on them. Yeah. Yeah. So the conclusion is you should be trying the pull on the first date for a multitude of reasons. Not only to protect yourself, but because you can filter out good girls. And thirdly, I would say, you know, you'll be doing it. It'll be good for society too, to not be simping so much for women, giving them so much power. But that's about it.
Yeah,
That's all you want to add to it? That's all I can think of.
that's pretty much.
Yeah. If anyone was to have questions, which we can't do a live here, I could go into depth on this, on why. I could go into depth. Like, yeah, we've had that discussion. Why it's the dominant strategy. But anyway, you should be trying to take her home on the first date. And it's not a degenerate thing, and it's not about getting laid. It's about trying to get the girl. See you guys next video.